Hey, what's up? I'm Carson Daly. Welcome to Last Call. Tonight's guest is nicknamed Sugar Bear, which is a sweet name.
You showed me a lot.
Unless your sweet name is Vanilla and you're dangling upside down off a hotel balcony by your feet. Those are the kind of... You should have dropped him, by the way. Those are the kind of stories you hear when Suge Knight's name is brought up. He came out of nowhere to revolutionize the world of hip-hop. He's also been surrounded by controversy and violence. He formed Dr. Dre, imported Snoop Dogg, and made Tupac huge. But Suge has also been placed in the center of the East Coast-West Coast feud that ultimately ended in the deaths of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. This past August, he just finished serving nearly 5 years in jail for violating probation. He's the first guest we booked through a parole officer and not a publicist, and we're damn glad to have him here with us tonight. We're gonna spend the whole show with him. Say hi to Suge Knight, everybody. What's up, Suge? Thank you for being here. I want to get right into it because we have so much to talk about. Take me into the world of prison, because hopefully I'll never be there. When you were there, were you scared?
Actually, the sad part about it, in prison, I had a ball. I had a lot of fun.
You're the only person that had fun in prison.
I had fun. You know, I had the opportunity to see a lot of my homeboys, which is really sad they never would come home, never have an opportunity to come home.
When you were in prison, did you feel more at risk when you were in prison or out of prison?
I think prison is a little safer than the streets.
For you?
For anybody. I mean, in prison...
No, prison ain't safe for me.
Oh, well, that's...
Suge, look at me. How long am I gonna last?
Well, you know, you might be doing a few clothes, a few...
I'll be walking around going, Suge Knight was on my show, what's up?
No, you are actually, you know, in prison, you got the gun tower, you got the things, but you got the way of life that you grew up.
Right.
Come on. If you're really off the block, out the mud,
right,
as we would say,
right,
out the mud, you basically prepare for prison without even knowing it.
Right.
Because when your homeboys get out, even ever since you was 13, 12 years old, they're telling you all the stories about prison, how to make a spread, how to boil water with razor blades, how to do everything.
Right.
So when you get to prison, this is stuff you've been hearing all your life, and you in there gelling, and then the police looking at you and say, you a C number or a D number? And that's a C number. It's like I think they on like J or Q. They way down the line.
Right.
Now.
It's a whole society that goes on.
It's a whole society. It's another world.
I think of you in prison, I think of Goodfellas. I think of the guys and they're getting salami and they've got fresh mozzarella and it's like they're not even in prison. Did you get special treatment?
Actually, it was worse on the simple fact that with the police, with the authorities, they feel like they got to be harder on you because if they do anything regular, people say they're showing favoritism.
Right.
So in my situation, that I had to be pretty much as smart as them, as good at what I do.
Right.
But one of the things I didn't do in prison, I never went to child hall. I cooked in my cell.
Right.
No matter what.
How do you run a multi-million-dollar business while you're in prison?
One of the things you gotta have is, number one, you gotta have God, which is very important. But you gotta have it sincere. You can't be none of the, when something go wrong, you call on God. You gotta know God all the time, in your good times and your bad times. And you gotta be able to relax and be comfortable, because you gotta realize one thing. How could you be stressing, how could you have the Lord on Friday and be stressing on Saturday because it's still the same God?
But God's not running your business. How did you
God's running you.
But
So
how did you
run your
manage
business.
the day in and day out tasks of continuing a multi-million-dollar empire when you were in lockdown?
Well, one of the things with me was that was very important to me, that I know I was put in prison for a number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people who didn't believe in what I had done for us, or do for us, music business, or my competition, wanted to see me away.
Right.
So my whole objective, my whole goal was to stay focused and don't get sidetracked, to deal with certain artists, deal with certain people in my company,
right,
and take care of my family.
Right.
And I was able to, the real key to anybody in the music business is that if anybody want to say anything negative about me, I can say one thing. I own my catalog and my masters.
Right.
Which allows me to make X amount of dollars per year, which allows me...
Even from jail?
Even from jail. Even if I was dead,
right,
my catalog still sell every week.
Right.
But 100% of the entrepreneurs in this business, they either got glorified logo deals,
right,
or production deals
Right.
or label deals that they might have the right to try to buy the catalog back one day, which
Right.
is impossible.
But this is an issue of ownership.
Ownership.
Ownership is an issue of business.
Business.
Business
period.
is what I want to talk about.
That's what I do.
I think you're a businessman.
That's what I am.
We're going to get into that.
One of the thing about it is, if you can check anybody, whoever in this business, they do not own the masters.
Right.
I do.
I know you do. We're going to talk about it right after
Right.
this. Suge Knight is our guest on Last Call, and we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to Last Call. We're here with Suge Knight, who just lit up, and ain't nobody at NBC going to tell him to put it out, including me. Suge,
So
thanks for being here.
too.
Let's talk business for a second. Let me get right into Death Row.
So you want me to manage you?
What's up?
You want me to manage
You might have to work out some of my
you
my
said
negotiations
business,
around
so
here,
you know,
apparently.
yeah.
I'm going to send Suge Knight in there.
Only about 20 million a year.
Things will never get screwed up. Take me back to Dre and D.O.C. This is NWA. They're signed to Ruthless Records. This is just before Death Row. I think at this point you're managing, you're Dre's personal manager. The story is that you got Dre and D.O.C. out of their Ruthless Records deal. And what I read, they were handed over, no money exchanged. How did you pull that one?
I think it's the mind of the battle. You do battle with your mind. I mean, one of the things that when I got involved in the music business, Doc, the D.O.C. was a friend of mine.
Right.
And the guy had, he had a tragic, it was an accident. He was going home from one of his videos, he fell asleep. He was in a Honda Prelude, he got blew out the brake shoe, the windshield of the car from the back.
Right.
Everything else came back except his voice. So the guy ended up talking like Donald Duck, which is very sad. The guy went from having the best voice in the rap game to having basically no voice.
Right.
And I tried to cheer him up because, you know, it was like the worst thing a prophecy can happen to a rapper, like an athlete loses his legs.
Right.
So I said, well, look, one thing you can count on that you write songs.
Right.
You done wrote X amount of songs for Easy. You done wrote X amount of songs for NWA. That's worth a lot of money to you.
Right. And so you get Dre, you got Doc.
So I go into Doc's contract, and he sold his songs for a $100 watch, a $150 chain. So when I seen it, I never seen anything like it in the world.
Right.
So when I went to go get Doc's situation squared away, that's when Dre came.
Right.
Dre said, well, look, I'm not really from Compton. Everybody usually against me. He said, I'm over here, Ruthless, and I got this deal that for a bonus, if I do 2 records, I'll probably get a swimming pool in my backyard.
Right.
I said, that's got to be crazy. What your contract says? He said, I've never seen a contract.
Right.
I signed something, I've never seen it. I said, we got to get your contracts. So they gave him the runaround, told me he couldn't have his contract. The lawyers told me he couldn't have his contract, but the lawyers was a record company lawyer.
Right.
So I went to the lawyer, I went to the record company, I said, okay, you got to give Dre his contract. Actually got to give it to me.
Right.
Not now.
You go by yourself?
Yeah. So I told him I got to get a contract.
Because there's stories of like pipes, bats, all kinds of stuff.
That's
Bring a little
That's the
something.
60s.
Okay.
So